Damien, your view on what has happened this evening?
Yeah, I'd agree with the lads. Eamon mentions there City energy, aggression. They were devoid of that for the whole game, really. I know they come into a bit in the second half, but I think it's just because Liverpool maybe were happy with the 3-0 and they sat back a bit, but they never looked like scoring, and they needed to score for me, because I can see Liverpool going to the Etihad and scoring, which would mean City need 5. I know Barca did it last year against Paris Saint-Germain, but, you know, it just always looked to me tonight they just expected to roll into town. And listen, I know there was the stuff with the bus and all, we don't know what effect that had on them, but just, it always looked to me like they just expect to roll into town, not do the dirty stuff and just play them off the pitch. But it's Anfield, and like Liam's played there in big nights, it just turns you into a different animal, and they couldn't match that. So were City flat, which they looked at? Were they flat because of what happened on with the bus, or were just Liverpool at another level that they reach on European nights? I'm not so sure, but you can't just turn up and expect to win, especially games like that at Anfield. The Anfield factor, you cannot underestimate it.
And Pep Guardiola yesterday spoke about, like, Sané, who's 22, and no Aguero, as Liam says. Sané is 22 years of age. Gabriel Jesus is 21. And he spoke in, as you would expect the manager to say, in positive terms. These guys will be fine with this atmosphere. But coupled with what happened beforehand, they would never have played in an environment like that. And I know there's the Shankly line, it only affects the bad players. These guys aren't bad players.
No, like, let's, you know, it's one game. I know it's a Champions League, but let's not forget what they've done in the Premier League this season. You know, I'm driving here tonight and I'm thinking, if they carry on like this for 2, 3, 4 years, you'd argue that they're the best Premier League team ever. So you can't, you know, they're that good. They're going to hit 100 plus points. You could say I'm getting carried away here, but you know, let's not get carried away that they've got wiped aside by Liverpool tonight. They're a top amazing team. Yeah, Sané, De Bruyne, they haven't turned up tonight. Why? I said it's open to debate whether it's the bus team.
Well, I mean, there's Walker, Fernandinho. They've been big players for them this year. They didn't show up.
You can't argue any
I think one of the factors you might put in the equation, I don't know what you think, Liam and Damien, but it's a very poor Premier League. There's some awful teams in it, the West Broms and teams like that. And they really went to Everton on Saturday, and they wiped Everton out. They
but
really
it's tougher than ever, Eamon, to get in the top 4. You can also say it the same.
Well, maybe we've overrated them on the basis that, you know, when he was at Barcelona, he had Messi, Xavi, Iniesta. Now, they really were proven. This team isn't proven.
But, no, you know, I suppose, look how far they are ahead of Liverpool in the league, I know, but it's like they have blown everybody else away.
Yeah, but they didn't. Well, if you go back 12 months, Monaco blew them away.
Sure.
You know, scored 3 goals at the Etihad and beat them. And so this is the problem for Guardiola.
It has been a problem for Guardiola down through the last few seasons. Even at Bayern Munich, he had this high pressing game, and yes, they won the league easily every year. But in the Champions League, the defence was there and doing, and it could very well be again tonight.
Like, he had 3 successive semi-final defeats with Bayern Munich in the Champions League. He had that amazing Barcelona team in 9 and 11, but you know he's won it. Well, he's won it twice in 10 attempts.
No, I think there's questions to be asked. I think there's questions to be asked of his how he sets his team up defensively. I thought Eamon's point was very good tonight. Was that, if you're a really top team, you get a 0-0 playing badly, you know. Yeah. But they just weren't able to do it.
Here's his record in Europe we're talking about, you know. But, like, remember, at the start of the evening, we began by saying, look, this is 180 minutes. And it's not his way, as you say, Liam, to go out for a 0-0. It's all or nothing. We've got to go all in.
No, what he couldn't have expected.
A cult has built up around Pep Guardiola over the last several years. And it is that he has some magical powers, or that he is a great coach that is able to not just win trophies, but transform the game. In other words, win trophies without paying attention to a great element of the game, which is defending. Maldini, I'll go back to it, Cannavaro, the great defenders in the history of the game. And he didn't have them at Munich. He didn't want them. He put Philip Lahm into midfield. Lahm was the best fullback in the world. He had him playing in midfield. So this is the question that remains unanswered about Pep Guardiola. can he do it without Messi, Xavi, and Iniesta? And
He can win the Premier League.
He can win the
But
Premier
this
League
is
by as
what he
many
wants.
points as he wants, but he's got to go and play against Ronaldo. He's got to go and play against Messi, and he's got to go and play at Liverpool, and he's got a dummy called Otamendi playing centre half, who's not good enough, and he doesn't seem to care. And he's bought a guy in for 60 million called Laporte. He was playing tonight. You wouldn't have noticed him, except if you were watching the mistakes he made and the bad positions he took up. So this idea that everyone was running away with, that they were going to win the Champions League this year, is wrong. Because if Liverpool don't do them,
Somebody else
Real
will feel
Madrid
well.
will do them, Barcelona will do them. So